Welcome to Glow Social Club, the space where powerhouse women come to reclaim their health, their clarity, and their leadership. I'm Jasmine Corona, functional nutritional practitioner and founder of Organically Glow and Glow Social Club. Around here, we don't do one-size-fits-all advice. We translate symptoms into strategy and build the kind of structure that actually sustains you. If you are ready to lead your health, your work, and your life with clarity, confidence, and conviction, you are in the right place. Let's begin. Today on the podcast, we are diving deep into polycystic ovarian syndrome, better known as PCOS. So we're going over the science, the advocacy, and the support systems you need to know about. So our guest, Megan Stewart, the founder and executive director of the PCOS Awareness Association, she's at the forefront of the fight for better healthcare equity and compassionate care for the PCOS community. So welcome to Glow Social Hour, Megan.
Thank you, Jasmine. I'm super excited about being here.
Yes, I'm so excited to dive into this conversation just because it impacts so many women, and most of us don't even know we may have this diagnosis. So with this specifically, you have built the PCOS Awareness Association into a leading organization, but I'd really love to go back to the beginning. What was your journey like with PCOS? And
what do you have?
Yeah, I know, right? And at what point did you realize that the world needed a dedicated space for advocacy and education surrounding around PCOS?
Yeah, absolutely. So actually, shout out to my mother because she was my largest advocate, right? I actually started showing symptoms around the age of 9, and those symptoms included weight gain, mood swings. She said my mood swings were insane, and hair growth on, face and neck, but starting to lose hair on my head. And she said that it was just like a nightmare to watch, her daughter go through this, and wasn't sure what was going on. She was taking me from like OBGYNs to nurse practitioners to endocrinologists to all the different medical providers that she could possibly take me to, and nothing was being said. She was giving reasons such as, oh, she's of that age of about to get her cycle, and this is just normal. This is just something that she's got to go through. To which my mom was like, no, I didn't go through that. So what in the world? And then she was also told that I just needed to lose weight. So funny story is that, well, not so funny, but I'm going to date myself. This was back in the days of when Weight Watchers was in person. And you would literally sign up for Weight Watchers, and once a week you would go into like a little office with a group of other people that were part of Weight Watchers, and you would get weighed and then you would sit in this whole health meeting and talk about like your journey over the week, and talk about any failures that you may have had with eating a whole bunch of Oreos or some ice cream or something like that, right? It was just like a group meeting about weight and health. And then towards the end of the meeting, or was it the beginning? I can't remember, but sometime during the meeting, they would like announce like, congratulations, so-and-so lost so many pounds. Come get a, gold sticker for the day.
Yeah.
I just remember because again, I was young. Wasn't in charge of like who made my dinners or who made my breakfast or anything like that. My mom did it. So I just remember I was a very active kid. I was an equestrian. I played basketball. I played volleyball, just always doing something. And nothing was helping. So I just remember one time, one of those Weight Watchers meetings, my mom was on it too. She was like, okay, I'm going to do it too. I'm going to do it with you. Yeah. She lost something like in a week, she lost something like 2 pounds. And then it was time to weigh me, and I lost 0.05 of a pound. And here we are eating and doing the exact same things, but nothing was helping. So what's going on with Megan? And I just remember at that point, the doctor that told her that I just needed to lose weight, she was like, no, something else is wrong. Another doctor told her that it was in my head and that I was faking things just to get out of school. So one of my other symptoms was just severe like pelvic pain, right?
Mm.
So the doctor said, well, so she's just faking it. She's just trying to get out of school. I probably was, but no, no, I'm
That's
kidding.
not the point.
Who wants to go to school? But no,
Right.
I actually just learned maybe in 2019 during one of our events, my mom shared that she actually, when she heard that, she gave me a placebo pill. And she
Oh,
told me it was
wow.
going to cure everything.
Yeah.
Everything that's wrong with you, just take this pill and it'll be fine. You'll be fine. She said that in the first 2 weeks, I was fine. I was, my mood was better. I didn't seem like I was in pain. Just my acne kind of cleared up, right? Things
Yeah.
just seemed like it was better. But she said after that, it was ridiculous. Like things just came back 10 times worse.
Mm.
And it was at that point that she realized, no, this is not in this poor kid's head.
Yeah.
This is something true. So it was at that time. So again, 9 through 16, finally, the age of 16, she found an OBGYN that formally diagnosed me with PCOS. But in that, at the same time, I was also diagnosed with cervical cancer. So it was like the PCOS was put on the back burner, of course. But not only that, but I remember the doctor saying to me, just come back to me when you're ready to have kids. Like that's all you need. Just come back to me. And I just remember thinking at 16, ew. Boys,
Yeah.
gross, right? Like no, I'm not, that's not a thing. So of course, cervical cancer was on the mind first. By the time I was 21, I had started a new job, didn't have health insurance at that new job, and again, dating myself, this was before you could stay on your parents' health insurance through college. So I had no health insurance, and at the job one day, I must have walked in and I must have looked like death because everybody said that my color was not there. I looked clammy. I looked like in pain, and I just remember being in absolute pain, and they were like, no, bye, go to the ER. Went to the ER. My mom met me at the ER, and they said to me, oh, we see in your chart that you have PCOS. We're going to do a couple ultrasounds. Come to find out, my cysts and my ovaries were rupturing.
Oh,
And they said
gosh.
to me, this is your life. Like,
Mm.
welcome. So
Yeah.
this is just something that you're going to have to deal with for your life. And my mom said that when we were leaving the ER, she saw it in my face. Like, I just remember asking me, what are you about to do? That fiery Scorpio sign came out in me, and she was just like, what are you doing? What are you thinking in your head? And I said that this just can't be it, right? Like this can't
Mhm.
be the end all be all. There has to be some sort of support, something out there for this. Um, Again, dating myself. This was before like Instagram and Facebook. Pretty sure
Yeah.
MySpace was out, but this was the times when you used what is it, Craigslist? What's it, the chat in Craigslist where you can go in and
Mhm.
you can, like make a post. It's almost like modern day Reddit, right? You go and you make a post and people respond to the post in Craigslist. I just went out there and looked for PCOS in the chat, and like four women in my area popped up asking the same questions as me, and I was like, this is a problem. This is a problem.
Mhm.
So I would say I sat on that information for a couple years, going through trying to find resources and support and information, and everything was just sending me all over God's green earth. And I was just like, yeah, no. My family, I'm very close with my family, so they were all like constantly reaching out to check on me to make sure that see what had happened with the ER and all that. And so through my research, I found out that the official color of PCOS is teal.
Mm.
So I started making like these teal handmade bracelets and handing them out to my family saying, okay, now that you know what PCOS is, because I learned what PCOS was, like now that you know, now it's time for you to share that information. So please wear this. And if anybody asks you what it stands for, tell them, share with them. And then it was around the time that the most recent Wonder Woman movie series came out. And so, her famous pose of her like this,
Yeah.
right? I had a cousin that, this was about the beginning of Instagram. I had a cousin that had like asked me for arms worth of these handmade bracelets. So I sent them off. She lived in Boston. I sent them off to her, and she posted that pose on Instagram, tagged me in it, talking and tagged hashtag PCOS. And I couldn't fathom how many DMs I received from just women all over the world asking me, like, I have PCOS. I've never seen anything like this. Where do I get one? Can I buy one? Who are you? All that stuff.
Yeah.
That's what sparked the beginning of PCOS Awareness Association. Was in my mind, I thought, okay, this is needed. So let me go ahead and spread the word that much more.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I just got chills, honestly. Like that, this is global.
Yeah.
It reached globally. Like your story alone is so powerful. And I resonated with it so much because I also, gone through my own healing journey where it took me years, honestly, quite around the same time you did, the 9 to 16 years old. That's when I was going through the process of having so many different symptoms, the painful pelvic pain. I had ovarian cysts also where they ruptured and they're just like, well, pain management, pain management. Like, yeah, exactly. Even the acne, the painful periods, just feeling so off in your body, the fatigue. And it took going to so many different doctors and being told over and over again, there's really not much more you can do. You can take birth control, you can take metformin. Pain management was really like the go-to for it. And I remember at that age, the only person that can advocate for you is a parent. And my mom was the same way. My mom advocated for me, right? So I thank God every day for our moms, right? Yeah. And it's so funny because my mom was the same way. Like, no, there's something going on here. Like, you guys need to figure it out. And so just having someone in your corner to advocate for you to, keep pressing, like, there's something going on. Like, you know your body best, right? And so even with your story, it got to a point where when you finally got a diagnosis, it wasn't just PCOS, it was cervical cancer.
Yep.
And you were so young.
Right. And they
so
say
young.
that there are some studies out there that say that PCOS can lead to cervical cancer and ovarian cancer and uterine cancer and whatnot. I haven't seen any recent studies on it though. So I would love to know the correlation. Like, how does that work?
Yeah, no, 100%. I think it's definitely not talked about. Just before I'm like, I can take this in so many different directions, but with that journey of, okay, you were 9 years old, started having these symptoms, gone to the doctors for years just to get, some type of answers. And then when you got that diagnosis of the cervical cancer, what was kind of the emotions behind it? Like, what was the process of that?
I think that because I was young, it was really like, but it explained a lot. So from that time, right, I had never had a menstrual cycle. I had to take progesterone just to start my cycle. So it explained a lot. And I think at that point, there was some relief to find out about PCOS at least, and to explain what was going on, because that's one of the largest hurdles, right? Like, if you're sitting in your being and you're not understanding what's going on with yourself, that can cause depression, anxiety, the body dysmorphia, it causes so many different things that can lead into so many other things. So I think just the finding out, and I've heard that actually from a lot of different women, is that just the finding out takes a lot of pressure off, a lot of pressure and a lot of depression off, along with a lot of anxiety. But then comes the next step, right?
Yep. Yep.
It's like a vicious cycle, right? The next step of treating it. And there is
Hmm.
no one size fits all treatment. Not only that, there's just no treatment whatsoever, right? There's
Yeah.
no FDA approved medication directly for PCOS.
Yep.
Like you said, they give the metformin, they give birth control, they give
Hmm.
progesterone, spirulactone, they give all the
Yeah.
different things, but there's no, those are treating individual symptoms of
Yep.
PCOS. It's not treating it as a whole because it's a syndrome, not a disorder or a disease. There's just no way your PCOS could look different from my PCOS and what forth. So
Yeah, exactly. I think you're so right. The first step is finally learning, okay, this isn't in my head. Like this whole time you
I'm
guys
not
have been
faking
telling
it.
me, yeah, that you guys have been telling me that I'm just faking it to get out of school or faking it because I want to get out of work.
Right.
No, there's something going on in my body. And
Yeah.
to finally hear, yes, that is correct. There is something off in your body. And, maybe that's not even a diagnosis, but someone's finally just validating what you have
Validating.
been experiencing this whole time.
Absolutely.
That does take a relief off of you. It does help with the mental health aspect too, because, it's an emotional roller coaster going
Yes.
through that process with the medical system, seeing multiple doctors, and then still being like, okay, well, now that I have this diagnosis or now that I have this label or whatever we want to call it, what's next, right? What's next? And like you said, with PCOS specifically, there isn't a one size fits all solution, especially because it impacts so many different women in so many different ways.
Right.
Some women, because I work with a lot of women who have PCOS too, some of them are just having very mild symptoms. They are told by their doctor, well, you don't technically fit the diagnosis for PCOS, but you do have some symptoms of PCOS. And they're just sitting there like, what does that even mean?
Right. What does that mean?
Yeah. How is that going to help me? And so that's when they come to me and they're like, okay, this is what they told me. These are my symptoms. I'm like, okay, yeah, we have to get to the root cause. Like, it's not just one thing. Like, it's diet, it's lifestyle, it's environmental factors, it's stress.
Right.
It's so many different aspects. So just with that specifically, I really want to talk a little bit about the community that you have created too. I know I'm kind of jumping right into it. But even with the community that you have too right now, your whole focus is basically closing the diagnosis gap.
Yes.
And like I said, it takes someone years, even, decades to get an actual answer from the symptoms, especially with PCOS. So what are some of the biggest hurdles that you see in the healthcare system?
Oh. I say this so I apologize to people that have, seen other podcasts with me in it, but I say this all the time, because it's one of the things that my mother drilled into me, going through the whole doctor to doctor to doctor, whatnot. There is a reason why they call it practicing medicine, because they're doing just that. They are practicing. They do not have all the answers. So there's just absolutely no way, especially with a diagnosis of PCOS. Nobody has all the answers. I mean, even scientists that are studying PCOS do not have the answers as of yet. We're hopeful. Like, we're very hopeful that in the coming years, that's like my wish for future generations, right? Is that we do have answers that are actionable. I think that education from the medical side, I don't know if you've ever requested or seen the page, it's just a page in the medical book that that people that are studying to be doctors get to witness or see or go through when it comes to PCOS. It's just a page in their book. That's harsh because, like you said, so many women, there are studies out there that say it's now 1 in 5, not 1 in 10 women have PCOS, and over half of them don't even know that that's what they're going through. So I think that the education needs to be more. There needs to be more education in the medical community behind it. Also, that kind of leads us to a program that we are working on that we had in the past, but unfortunately our partner with that decided to go a different route. But we had a search engine widget on our website where you could literally search for a medical professional in your area within like a 10-20 mile radius of your zip code that is versed in PCOS. That is so needed in closing the diagnosis gap. There are studies out there that say it can take up to 7 years for people to be formally diagnosed with PCOS.
Mm.
But if you have an idea of what's going on with you and you think it may be PCOS, being able to search for somebody in your area and go to that person and knowing that they know what PCOS is and they're able to, the widget isn't necessarily to treat PCOS, but it's to at least help diagnose you. Because again, that's over half the battle, right? That's over half the battle in getting women diagnosed and understanding what they're going through. And then the next part, the treatment part.
You don't need more wellness advice. What you're looking for are answers. If you're tired of wondering why you feel off, my one-time functional lab testing packages are your fast track to clarity. This is root cause insight without the long-term commitment. You'll get functional labs, a detailed breakdown of what's really going on, and a short-term protocol designed to bring immediate relief. It's not a transformation, it's a turning point. A way to stop guessing, start strategizing, and take grounded action right now. If you are craving clarity without the overwhelm, head to organicallyglow.com and book your testing package today. Because your symptoms aren't random, they are readable, and I'll help you decode them.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. That is a huge hurdle. So I actually was in the process of going through nursing school to get my master's. And this is one of the reasons why, because I saw that gap in the healthcare system where, I went through my own healing journey and I found healing outside of the medical system. And it took me years to, figure all that out. And I was like, why aren't we talking about the lifestyle, the nutrition, the exercise routines? There's so many different aspects that we can pull into the medical system in combination with treatments if we had them available. Yeah. And it would completely transform not only our lives, but it would change the whole medical system and how they practice medicine, like you were saying.
So it's funny that because last I was on a podcast a couple of weeks ago, and the young gal that I was with, she is she's an attorney, and she literally became an attorney because she was like, I'm gonna go fight this medical system. Only to find out when she became an attorney and went to go, try and fight some things, the medical system is doing exactly, at least here in the US, it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, exactly.
The big dollars, right? It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. So that's a harsh reality, but you do have to make it what you need it to be as the consumer.
Yeah.
I say this often as well. Like I go to the restaurant, I go to, dinner to a restaurant. I don't get good service. So do you really think that I'm going to give you like $100 tip? No. I may give you a tip as in like, do better. Right?
Yeah.
You do better, but I'm not going to give you some crazy tip for faulty service. And in that, same thing going to a doctor's. If they're telling you something and you strongly believe like what they're saying is incorrect, go to another one. If that person's strongly telling you something that you strongly don't believe in your heart and soul and your body, go to another, or ask for a second opinion, or, to ask the doctors the questions that you need to ask them. I think that a lot of times people see MD, PhD, nurse practitioner, they see those names and they feel like that person went to school and they're higher than me. So they must know all the things. They must be telling me something that's true. That's not, again, they're practicing medicine. They don't have all the answers. You need to be an advocate for yourself and ask all the questions. Or again, if you're not getting the answers that you want, I think back and like if my mom or your mom hadn't like pushed where would we be at today, right? I
Yeah.
probably would still be trying to figure out my life. if
Yeah.
and on top of that, at least like for me and a lot of other women, would I even be here, right? Like if my mom hadn't pushed the way she pushed and
hmm
taken me all over God's green earth to this person and that person and fought what they said, then would I even be here? So it's important.
Yeah. It's so important. That hits home right there. I think about that a lot too, just when I am sharing my own healing journey story too. And I'm like, I really think about if I didn't advocate for myself or had a mom who advocated for me, I probably would be going down the same path or I wouldn't even
Right.
be here. And it is, like you said, a very harsh reality that we have to come to terms with because I think the medical system they do such good marketing. I always think about this. I'm like, they are such a good business model because
Yes.
they are like this, they put themselves on this pedestal of like, I have all the answers. I am
Right.
here to save you.
No, they
And I
don't.
had to actually get out of that mindset where no one is coming to save you. Like you have to do it yourself if you really want to find healing. If you really want to succeed in this world, like you have to do it yourself. No one's going to do it for you.
Absolutely.
So going back to the self-advocacy, you said asking questions is you have to keep finding a doctor that actually aligns with you, who actually wants to do the testing,
Right.
who wants to dive deeper into, okay,
Right.
well, yeah, how's your nutrition? How's your lifestyle? Like asking a very holistic approach. What other advice do you have for someone who feels like they're being dismissed by the doctors or the medical care system?
Right. Finding people like you, right? Like, if you, like you said, medical community is not going to, I haven't met, not, okay, so I lie. In my personal, medical, going from medical professional to medical professional, I have not met anyone that will give you that holistic approach. Outside of my own personal medical staff, whatever, meeting people like you. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of Dr. Felice Gersh. She's in the California area as well. She highly, she will push the holistic approach through and through. And it's just crazy to me that such as yourself or her, you cannot be affiliated with like a hospital.
Yeah.
They will not allow that. So that's just insane to me. And insurance won't allow that either. So having your own private practice or whatever, we see a lot of these small private practices, they go out of business because they can't bill to insurance, or that's just insane to me. That's insane.
Yeah.
But if you are going to, you need to use insurance and you are going to use medical professionals, in-network medical professionals, let's put it that way, I would say you need to build a team so that you do get that holistic approach. Have yourself an OBGYN, have yourself a dermatologist, have yourself a dietitian, have yourself an endocrinologist, have yourself, all of these people, and hopefully try and get them in the same, system, same system now, so that they can look at your medical records from each person to see how they can better help you that way. Unfortunately, that's the way it has to go now.
Yeah.
If you need to bill to insurance, right? If you don't need to bill to insurance, then find yourself a Jasmine, find yourself a Dr. Gersh, right? Find yourself these people to be able to work with them. And again, I think it's just crazy to me that the holistic people are the people that aren't in the system, right? They aren't.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, the system isn't built to cater to that type of care. It's not. No, that's such great advice. And I think a lot of people will resonate with that just because they're like, okay, yeah, I've gone through all the doctors. Like, what's next? What can we do? Even with your community. So let's go back to that. Your community, I was looking at it and I was like, this is amazing. This is exactly what women need, or individuals who are even on this journey of trying to figure out, okay, well, what are my symptoms trying to tell me? Like, what is PCOS? Like, what's going on? What can I do? Can you talk a little bit about what your organization helps women do and your mission and everything. I'm like, tell us
Absolutely.
everything.
Absolutely. So I started PCOS Awareness Association officially in 2012. So we've been around for a while now. And to watch it grow into what it is today has been, I mean, of course, there's ups, downs around the corners, backward, forward, but I'm just so proud of my team and the things that we've done. And I do want to make sure that I state that we, myself included, we are all volunteers. We do not take any sort of funds from the nonprofit. So we all work day jobs. So things can get a little crazy sometimes and trying to make things work and happen. But I kid you not, I feel like we started big. We started big and just got bigger and bigger. And that's just a testament of what was needed. So we do work on kind of a 4 kind of pillar mission. We want to be able to provide support, resources, information, and then we also, in the last, I would say last 6 years, we teamed up with Cornell University's Lujan Labs, and we help fund the research of PCOS.
Wow.
And one of the main reasons why we chose Lujan Labs was because Dr. Lujan is, I look up all of the different studies on PCOS and everybody's trying to study like why weight gain or why fertility issues, nobody's really trying to get to the bottom of like, what is this? What is this? And where do we go from there? Dr. Lujan is actually one of the only labs out there that is studying what PCOS is. So shout out to Dr. Lujan and her team. And so, oh man, we've done so many different things over the years. Most recently though, in 2019, we started an event called PCOS Con, which is our annual event. But of course, the first one was a 3-day event in the DC area. Started on a Friday, went to Sunday. We had things. It was absolutely amazing. Like I keep trying to like relive it. You know how when you like nostalgic, like you try and like relive the moment. So it was amazing because it was like Friday was like networking, getting to know each other, happy hour. Friday night was like a late night session. We talked about the taboo things about PCOS. We literally had it like you came down in your PJs. We had beanbag chairs and popcorn and stuff like that. Get comfortable because we're going to chat about uncomfortable things.
Yeah.
So we had that. And then we woke up in the morning and we did yoga with More to Love. She's a gal out of Boston who specifically does yoga for larger frame bodies. We had fun with that. We just did so much in that 3 days. It was absolutely amazing. But then, of course, 2020 and the lovely pandemic hit. So we were not able to bring it back. In 2020, we had to go virtual. So now we've decided that to reach more people, every even year we're virtual and every odd year we're in person. So just this past September here, we did New York and LA, and then we also added a virtual aspect to it as well. We're hoping to bring it back. I would love, again, nostalgia, trying to bring back that 3-day event.
Yes.
Because us flying into one location for one day and then flying out to another location is a lot. So I would love to be able to, in 2027, I want to bring back the 3-day event at 3 different locations. So, spending a weekend in a location every weekend in September would be absolutely amazing to me. So working on that. Some of the other things that we're working on, we do currently have it's called Shades of Teal. It's online, it's almost like Facebook, right? But it's strictly for people with PCOS and their community. So we have a program called Man of Teal. My father actually started the Man of Teal program because it was funny because, of course, growing up, he never asked any questions of me and my mom about like what I was going through or what was happening with me and that kind of thing. But he always just thought like, okay, her mom has it. She's fine, right? It's okay. So he never asked any questions. But I'm from Seattle. I moved to Virginia in 2017, but then had to fly But a couple months after I moved to Virginia, I had to fly to, where was I? Dallas. I had to fly to Dallas to host an event in Dallas. And my dad said, I hadn't seen him in a few months. So he said, I'm gonna ride my motorcycle down from Seattle to Dallas and I'll meet you there. I haven't seen you in a
Wow.
little bit. I'm a huge daddy's girl. So he does
Yeah.
whatever I like him to do. Hopefully he's not listening to this. So he rode his motorcycle down, met me, attended the event. And let me tell you, so it was him and another dad that were at the event. And let me tell you, when I walked out of the event, he said to me, this is what you've been doing these last few years? Dad, yes. I've been traveling talking about PCOS. He's like, why aren't more males involved? You need males involved in this. You need the male voice because they're going to help you also get the word out. And I'm like,
Yeah.
sir. He's like, can I run a male program? Okay, I bet.
Yeah.
So he actually, at the 2019 PCOS Con, he actually led a whole like fireside chat, not a fireside chat. What do you call it? Another group.
Like a panel.
Yeah, he
Okay.
brought all the fellas into a room and they talked about PCOS and how they want to
Love
support
that.
other women, how they want to
Yeah.
support women with PCOS and what they can do. So it's called Man of Teal. In that, we do allow that Men of Teal in the Shades of Teal network so that if they want to chat in there with other men, they're more than welcome to. Just recently, we had a fellow from, she joined us from Trinidad and Tobago. So she
Wow.
was like absolutely amazing. We had her for 3 months. She actually had hosted a couple of years ago. She had hosted the first PCOS event, a symposium in Trinidad. And so she was very interested in volunteering with PCOS AA. So she came to the US, volunteered with us for 3 months, and she put together a program because we really sat down and thought about it. And we were like, okay, we have Man of Teal, but that does not encompass partners like my significant other. So she created a program for significant others.
Love that.
I love it. And then we have another group, another board member that's creating a Teal teens. Sorry, the two T's, right? They're creating a teen program within PCOS AA because we're really finding that the education about PCOS should be happening around the time, we had problems, right? Around 10, 11, 12, like we should be telling young girls about PCOS, just so they can recognize things within themselves and bring it to their mom or whomever's attention and be like, hey, like this is happening.
Yeah.
We just have a lot of new programs that will be released in the next, I would say, 6 months that we're just super excited about. And we're super we want people, if there's anybody out there that wants to help with the programs, we want to hear from you. Again, PCOS Con is every year. This coming year, it'll be virtual, but then the next year we'll be back in person.
Oh my goodness. Yes, this is so amazing. So much support, right? That is what's so needed when it comes to PCOS. You have to have a support system around you. It makes everything so much easier. I love that your dad did that because we don't even realize our partners, right, are being impacted by this too. Our mood swings or our irregular periods, or they're just looking at you like, oh, are you okay? Like, what is going on? Yeah, exactly. But they care about you so much and they love you so much that they also want to learn, like, well, how can I support you during this time? Because I get that question a lot too, like, well, my partner, he wants me to do this, but he also wants to know, like, how can he support me? And I'm like, this is what he can do, right? And it's just having someone in your corner again who can be an advocate for you, absolutely, but also cheer you on when you get down. Because there are days where you're like, there's just feeling a little off. And you have someone to turn to, right? It's so helpful, and especially the community that you're creating or have built. That's phenomenal. It's not just encompassing just women who are experiencing this, but it's also the family members, your partners, your loved ones, and then also other women who are experiencing this diagnosis. And it's very powerful because you're not just educating people, you're actually providing them resources and tools on how to start supporting their body. It's
That was
amazing.
my biggest thing is, again,
Yeah.
when I was out there searching for things, it was like everything was throwing information at me, but I was
Yep.
like, okay, so but what do I do about this?
Yeah.
Like, what? Okay, I know I need to lose weight, but how? Like, tell me
Yeah.
how. Tell me where
Yep.
to go. Tell me what to
Hmm.
do. Or I know I'm pretty much growing a beard. What do I do to get
Yeah.
rid of this? So,
Exactly.
yeah, the resources were very important to me. My mom's friend often, she used to say to me, like, you were so selfless in building this. No, actually, I was very selfish because everything that you see was because
Yep.
I thought about,
You
like,
did it.
what do I need?
Yes, no, I love that so much. That's amazing and it's much needed. Before we end our conversation, this has been phenomenal.
Yeah.
I definitely want to hear like what's the biggest thing that you have implemented in your life to help you heal your body?
Ooh, a couple of things. So one, I was seeing a, this might sound interesting to some, but you probably will understand.
Yeah.
I was seeing a woman's health acupuncturist.
Oh, yes.
Whew, let me tell you, my periods have been, and we're talking, this was years ago, like
Hmm.
maybe before I moved here to Virginia. So at least 9 years ago, I saw her. My periods have been regular ever since. I have not had
Oh,
any
wow.
problems. Before it was like, I could not see one for like a year. And then
Hmm.
I started seeing her. I have not been in pain either, pelvic pain, unless it's prior to my
Yeah.
cycle or whatever, but pelvic pain has not existed. Something else that I definitely realized is that so by day I'm an executive assistant slash project manager slash chief of staff, all the things, right? That's
Hmm.
my day life. I sit at this computer all day, every day. So I challenged myself at one point and I got a Fitbit and just wanted to like test myself. I was getting less than 2,000 steps a day. Ooh,
Mm.
no. No. So I was making it a point, like, get up, walk around, do some things. And let me tell you, just that, bringing myself from, I want to say I was getting like 1,500 steps a day, right? Bringing myself from 1,500 steps on up to 5,000 steps, I was losing some weight, right? Just naturally, just losing some weight. I would also say, like, not beating myself up over making a mistake. We all have those days where it's
Mhm.
like, I'm gonna have an Oreo. Next thing you know, an Oreo turns into a whole Oreo sleeve. Right? Like,
Yeah.
okay, it happened. That does not mean that tomorrow I'm gonna be like, I just blew it. I'm not, that's fine. I'm just gonna do it again today.
Yeah.
I failed, so let me just keep failing. That does not mean that. That means,
Hmm.
okay, pick up your britches. Let's try this again. Let's not beat
Yes.
ourselves up over the mistake. Yes, it happened. Let's keep going. Let's figure out a way forward, not thinking about, I think we get stuck in our heads about the woe is me and it just sticks. So
Yeah.
get out of it, get up and take a walk.
Yes.
Get moving. Those are the main things, at least for me, that have helped me along my journey.
Oh, love that. That is amazing. Honestly, acupuncture, amazing. It's crazy.
Who would
Who
have
would have
thought?
thought, right?
That little buzzy feeling that you get every once
Yeah.
in a while, and you're like, "Ooh, what was that?"
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it sounds like acupuncture was huge for you,
Yes.
moving your body a little bit more. Yeah, that's like the foundations. That is what we should be doing every single day. And it's different per person, right? You have to figure out
Absolutely.
kind of what works best for your body, what works best for your lifestyle. As you said, you're very busy, very, very busy. So learning to kind of incorporate like these small changes and shifts in your day to day can make dramatic changes to your health. So
Absolutely.
thank you so much for sharing all that. And thank
Yeah,
you
thank
for
you.
joining us today.
Yeah,
This
thank
was such
you.
a great conversation, such a powerful reminder that, you're not alone in this journey, right?
Absolutely.
We're not alone in this journey. And so before we end, can you share with everyone that's listening where we can find you, how we can get involved with your organization and connect?
Absolutely. So we can be found on pretty much all social media platforms.
Yeah.
Our largest ones are Instagram, of course. PCOS AA is our tag. And then Facebook, it's PCOS Awareness Association. I believe X, it's PCOS AA. We're also you can find us on YouTube. We're literally revamping a lot of things. Again, 2026 will be a big revamped year. Our website is www.pcosaa.org. For PCOS Con, so PCOS Con has its own tags. It's on Instagram, it'll be PCOS Con, and then on the website for that event, it's pcoscon.org. But expect to see our TikTok going, a lot more on our TikTok, a lot more on our YouTube, a lot more on we are on Pinterest. We have been on there for years, but we're just like revamping it. So also our website will be revamped in the coming year as well. So expect a lot more programs to come. There's a lot I didn't share with you. There's a lot coming.
Okay, amazing. I'll leave everything in like the links, all where we can find you basically in the show notes so everyone can go and follow you guys. And again, thank you again for joining us, sharing all your knowledge and building this amazing community. I think this is so powerful, and it's definitely going to change the trajectory of the PCOS story that's being told right now, right? But we'll see you guys on the next episode. If you guys do have questions for either of us, make sure you guys reach out to us, and we're always here to support.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jasmine.
You lead teams, households, businesses, but no one taught you how to lead your health. Most wellness advice wasn't built for women like you, high functioning, chronically fatigued, done with surface level fixes that don't actually work. That's why I created my one-on-one personalized wellness plans. We start with functional labs, we decode your symptoms, and we build a protocol that's rooted in data and designed for your reality. This isn't trendy wellness, this is root cause medicine that leads to restorative care. It's clarity, structure, and sustainable results for women who carry a lot and deserve to feel like themselves again. If you are ready for precision support and a practitioner who sees the full picture, head to organicallyglow.com, book a call, and let's rebuild your energy at the root so you can lead everything else from a place of clarity. If today's conversation shifted something inside of you, if it brought you clarity, relief, or a new way to see your health as a leadership tool, I'd love for you to share this with another powerhouse woman in your world. And remember, symptoms aren't the problem, they are the signal. When you start translating them, you stop surviving and you start leading with clarity. I'll see you next time inside Glow Social Hour.